Hey, good morning, guys. It's Goose. Welcome to STN's Stock Talk with Ricky and Goose. StockTraders.net, guys. We're one of the leading online trading communities. We got free trading rooms, like I've talked to you about. We got widgets. We got all kinds of stuff. We actually have a store that offers discounts to our premium members. We got a lot going on there at StockTraders.net. Even more importantly, we hope you guys come over there. Anything that you hear in this broadcast, feel free to send a message to any one of us. Any of the moderators will help you out. Just join the free trading room and just shoot us a message, and we'll go over some of the thoughts on what we're talking about this morning. I just want to remind you guys that nothing we're talking about in here, we're not trying to solicit you to trade or anything like that. We're just going over some of our ideas, all for informational purposes. And I want to make sure that you guys all read the disclaimer below in the description section. I say this also every day, is we're not trying to give you, 20 ideas a day. We're just going to give you a few different ideas each, and maybe a thought or two, and keep it to try to keep it to like 10 minutes, and let us go on with the day and have a great day. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Ricky and let us get started with a few of his ideas. He's got some good ones this morning, and I'll be back to you guys in shortly.
Thank you, Goose. So, guys, unfortunately, I don't have anything on my watch list today, so I'm just going to have to turn it right back over to Goose. No. I'm only kidding, guys. There's plenty happening this morning, so let's move on and check out what made Ricky's list. The first thing that's on my list today is NXTD, and first thing I noticed this morning was that they PR'd about their upcoming launch of FitPay. This PR comes the morning after they got their notice of effectiveness from the SEC that their S3 registering 3.3 million warrants with an exercise price of $218 is now good to go. Oh, the timing. Guys, I mean, this company, if you look at their long-term daily chart, it speaks for itself. But I also just want to add that, when we do these broadcasts, it's not like a bait and switch type deal we're offering you over at StockTraders.net. We routinely provide a ton of value for the free room as well. It's not some kind of scheme to get people to come over and subscribe. And in fact, I literally just posted the DD sheet for NXTD in the free room. So like, if you guys aren't over at StockTraders.net, you guys should head over there and check it out. You guys can see what we're providing these guys and the kind of due diligence we're doing on these companies that we think are setting up for good trades, right? So I want to continue on with NXTD just a little bit more. I just want to point out that they've done a few financing deals in their last quarter of 2017. So they're not hurting for cash as of now, but I think these warrants are going to be enough to squash this gap. So I will be looking for a good short entry signal for it to set up. It's got a decent gap on it this morning. And that's about it with NXTD. So moving on to the next thing, just want to point out that Goose had earnings, and it's getting whacked this morning. So just for my buddy's ego, I'm going to leave them off my watch list this morning. Next, we're going to talk about Twitter. Now, this one is a pretty big gap up on earnings, and it's pretty reminiscent of Snap yesterday. And I have two ways that I think it could be played. If the open wants to be strong and open at the pre-market highs and push right out of the gate, I think it's going to give us a nice short wash retrace type play. But if it wants to calm down a bit before the open, and let's zoom in down here on the 5 minute. If it wants to open somewhere around this 5 minute 20 and then set up for a nice long, I think it could give us a play just like Snap the other day, where it sets up, gives us the entry, and then the first target would be the pre-market highs. So that, speaking of Snap, the next thing on my list is Snap again. I know I talked about it yesterday, guys, but it is still on my watch list. Today I'm going to be watching it for a possible second day continuation play, and I would even be interested in it pushing enough that it smash into a psych number like 25. And I think that would be a nice stuff area where it might finally give a reversal for a short. But this thing traded over 8 times ATR yesterday, which is a ton for such a big float. But it also traded 232 million shares, so it's not hard to see why it was able to move like the float was a lot lower. that being said, this thing is definitely high up on my watch list today, guys. So that Twitter and NXTD is what I got. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Goose. I'm really interested in what he's got today because there is so much happening out there. Goose, what do you have for me?
Hey, thanks, Ricky. Two things. First of all, phenomenal job on Snap yesterday. That was a great idea as far as the long on that. Gave a few points. Sensational job. Second of all, taking a little shot at me, I'd like to clearly say that you could see that Goose, myself, has been trending since November. And I still am above all my moving averages. So you could take that point, even though my earnings have come down a little bit. So take that. Next, let me go through a couple of my picks. IPHI is one of the ones I'm looking at this morning, is one of my top watches. And I want to remind you guys on this, we always want to look for, the trend intraday on this thing, okay? I think that this is overdone. They talked about their Q1 earnings and stuff like that, guys, being, looking into a week. But after that, they've talked about, being back to business and getting stronger again. What I'm looking for on this thing, you're seeing some coverage, and and some price downgrades on it. There's nothing to show you guys on the daily that's going to show that there's a support level on this. But if you actually look, a lot of things that I do is if you look at the ranges on this real quick, close 37.87. The low on that day was 34.53, $3 range. So what I like to do is I like to look at the range on the big days. What has been the range on this name? And really, if you do some homework on it, you're gonna see there's $3, maybe $4 names, but mostly even tighter than that. That puts up a big thing for me in saying, okay, wait a sec, this thing's down $5, $5.50. This might be oversold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look this morning. Obviously, you can kind of see it holding this 24 level. You see some of these candles already pre-market. You're kind of getting soaked up here on the 5-minute. This is intriguing to me. So what I would like on this one is two things. I'd love another wash on this to give it an entry. A little imbalance. People just get me out of this thing type of attitude. And then I'd like to see it, if it does an imbalance at the open, I'll probably buy some of the imbalance at the open from the long side. But I'm definitely looking at the long. If I'm looking at it and it's just kind of still trending, I'll look for a reversal in that pattern, and then I'll get long. And I'm only looking for a couple dollars on the thing, which is still a great trade. I'm not looking for it to bounce up on the day or anything silly like that. But I am, I'm not looking for 29 bucks. I'm looking for a trade out of it, but I think it's overdone. Maybe it closes down a few bucks or whatever it is, but there's still quite a bit of meat in there and some range in the stock. So just be patient with it. If there's an imbalance, I'll jump on it. But let me move on to the next one. RIOT. I want to talk to you guys about RIOT. I talked a little bit about this in the this morning. Right now it's up, $1.70 or so, trading at $16 area, which is right in here. You see a couple things on here that I actually drew this earlier on because I was showing the room this too. Is sometimes, with these retraces, what I also look for, you see it coming, close to the two. I thought I might have talked to you guys about RIOT in the past when it was approaching 200. It might have just been in the room. But you see it kind of reverse. It's had a couple good days. Obviously the XBT, has popped back up. We're at 8,400 again, and things are slowly moving, up in the right direction. For the coins, a little bit of a rebound. I'm not sold on the market overall right now. Still, I think it's still going to be volatile. As through the earnings, we'll see how things play out and settle down. And that being said, a lot of times on these retraces, you do it reverse. From the long side, you want to pull it back, see it retrace 50%, 30%, depending on what the name is. And some of these type of names, even 60, 70%. But on this, you're seeing a bounce right here of over 50%. And you're seeing actually, almost 70%. And you're running into a couple things. You're running into the pivot here at 1620. You're running into the 20-day at 17. And man, if this wants to get some legs and push 20, I'd be all over it from the short side. So I'm looking at this from a short entry. I'm not thinking about long on this name at all. I'll definitely, be looking at it from a short side. Again, I'll be looking for a pattern, something to trade against, a comfortable level as far as taking the short before I just jump on it just to jump on it. If they want to keep, moving this and pushing it, I'm going to leave it at that and, look for it. There's a ton of opportunities out there today. So, we only give you a few, but there's a lot out there today. So you'll have plenty to trade off of on the scans. Lastly, one more thing I want to throw at you guys this morning is INSY. I've mentioned this name to you in the past. It's been a good trader that I've played around with a couple times. And the only thing I want to show you guys is from the big move that we had here, it's kind of retraced, almost, 60%. It's kind of coming off the 50-day. If this wants to reclaim this area here, 839, 840, it's definitely of interest. But what I want to show you is already, right now it's 820 it closed at, 824 actually. And you have these levels right here. I love the risk reward. The low the other day was 788, but if I could buy this in the low 8s for this turn off the 50-day, I think it's a really good risk reward play for a turn and push back up towards 9. So I really like the idea on INSY. Everything's got to line up, market, everything else, looking good. But other than that, I do like this one from a long side too. I'm not sure I've talked about this name or not with you guys. Anyway, guys, that's all I'm going to give you as far as the names go. Just a reminder, guys, there's a lot. Earnings season, there's always so much. So make sure, you pick out a couple names that you really love, but then let the names come to you and set out and look for the ranges and just play it smart. You don't have to trade every name. It only takes a couple good names in a day and you'll do, you'll do fantastic. So, all right, guys, that's what I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to turn it back over to Ricky. I hope you guys all stay safe, be smart, follow your rules, don't chase. And let's have a great day today, guys. Thanks for listening in.
Thanks, Goose. Man, I love watching your picks, bro, especially after what happened yesterday where you went almost just nailing every single call. Guys, if you're not at stocktraders.net, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice. Head over there now, sign in, check it out, talk to some of the traders there. They'll tell you. You guys need to be knowing about what's up. Listen, guys, plan your trades, trade your plan, stay safe out there. Stay off the front side. Let's crush it today. Peace.